Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to our PBL Season 7, Week 6 video. Last week, we kind of got a bit unlucky with a Dragapult at the end of the game. It crit our Nidoking after it had already landed 2 Draco Meteors, which meant it was at -4 special attack, which meant that Nidoking died and we ended up losing the game. But it's alright. There's still more than enough time to come back. We're only sitting at 13th, and top 10 make playoffs. I think I don't know how it works off the top of my head, but top 10 make playoffs. So we've still got plenty of chances to get back there. But we need to win this game. We need to win our next game, and I think we can. We're facing off against the Orlando Magic Guards and Coach EzBake. EzBake is also the Season 6 champion. Ended up beating Patapik in the championship match, or the grand final, as I like to call them, because that's what we call them here in Australia. Ended up beating Patapik in the grand final. And we played each other twice last season. He was the only team that I faced twice. I faced him once in the regular season. I faced him once in the first round of playoffs, and I got absolutely bodied both times. But I had a really, really bad matchup against his team. So I don't blame that. I don't think that's really a good judgment of his skill or mine. He is really good. I'm not too bad myself. So, but I think we do have a much better matchup this time. So let's take a look. He has a Zygarde 50%. Which is a really, really bulky Dragon and Ground type, particularly with its massive HP stat and defense stat. It's got a pretty good special defense stat as well. Base 100 attack, typically sweeps teams with stuff like Dragon Dance and Coil. I think he'll bring Dragon Dance though, because he needs to outspeed my threats that outspeed him that hit him hard. Because I've got So I've got Mega Latios, I've got Greninja. Both of them hit him hard on the special side, so if he runs Coil, I can outspeed and easily revenge kill it. Unless he gets enough up that he can kill me with extreme speed, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. But if it is, it's something to watch out for. But that's Zygarde typically hits with 1,000 arrows, which is a ground type move that hits flying types. Hits them neutral initially, and then hits them on the next turn, completely ignoring the flying type. So for example, it would hit Zapdos neutral on the first turn, and then super effective on the second, because electric is weak to ground. Next up, he's got a Togekiss, which is a really bulky fairy flying type, which is also his Wish Passer, which I think is something that's very important for him on this team particularly. Base 80 speeds, it can be run with Scarf as well, dual stab with maybe moves like Extrasensory, Aura Sphere, Flamethrower, moves with secondary effects because of its Serene Grace ability, which increases the likelihood of those secondary effects occurring. I think it doubles it or something like that, which is insane. That also is compounded by its 120 special attack stat, which is not to be slept on. He's got a Tentacruel, which is a really bulky water type. Also, his Rapid Spinner, ridiculously fast at 100 for a fucking octopus or whatever it is, but is really specially defensive with 120 special defense. Can kind of take physical hits as well with 65, thanks to its 80 base HP. This thing doesn't really hit too hard, but it does clear hazards, and it sets that itself. It gets Toxic Spikes. So that's also something to watch out for. Mienshao and Zoroark are pretty similar Pokemon. Both base 105, both very, very fast. Mienshao typically hits on the physical side with stuff like Reckless, High Jump Kick, or Close Combat. It gets Regenerator as well, which means that it can come in, take a few hits, maybe it can take rocks damage, and then it can switch out and recover and back up. Zoroark, on the other hand, is more of a special attacker and also gets the ability Illusion, which disguises itself as the 6th Pokemon in the on the team. So that is also something to watch out for if Zoroark does make an appearance. We have to keep that in the back of our heads that it could be not Zoroark, it could be something. It could be not something. It could be Zoroark. He's got a Rotom Frost, which is another really powerful special attacker, also a good choice Scarfer. Fantastic offensive dual typing of Electric and Ice, but the trouble is that his only Ice move is Blizzard, and Blizzard has a tendency to miss. Aside from that, it's really, really bulky, base 105 special attack stat, which is pretty good with its dual stab of Thunderbolt and Blizzard. Also gets Volt Switch for momentum, and then like any other Rotom, it gets stuff like Thunder Wave, Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, Defog. A lot of support stuff that can really mess you up. He's got a Mega Aggron, which is an insanely bulky steel type with its whopping 230 defense and supported by 70 HP and 80 special defense. What makes it so great, apart from its ridiculous defense stat, is its ability filter, which reduces the damage taken from super effective attacks by, I think it's like a third or a quarter or something like that. So that's stuff like fighting moves, fire moves, ground moves, all damage is reduced, which makes its longevity like great, much greater. We can break through it, but we do have a lot of trouble doing it. If this thing shows up, it's probably going to have rocks, but it could also have stuff like Iron Defense Body Press, which which EzBake has brought in the past. He's also brought Rest Sleep Talk, but I'm not sure if he'll do that again, because last time he did it, he got shell smashed on because he didn't get lucky with Rest, and he couldn't attack with Sleep Talk, and he ended up losing the game because of it. He's got a Mew, which if you know from my EDL videos, if you saw my EDL breakdown, it can do team breakdown. It can do literally anything. It can set up hazards, spikes, rocks, T-spikes. It can get rid of them with defog. It can set up on your face with Dragon Dance or whatever, and it can sweep you. It can be really annoying support, like Roost, Taunt, anything you can think of. Chances are it gets it. He's got Whimsicott, which is a grass and fairy type, his fastest Pokemon on the team at 116. Also, its Prankster ability means that its status moves get a higher priority, which can be exceptionally annoying. That's stuff like Defog, Tailwind, Stun Spore. I think it gets Stun Spore. I'm pretty sure it does. But any status move just gets a higher priority and is most likely used first. Although Dark types are immune to it, which is really good for Greninja, which outspeeds Whimsicott. He's got a Volcanion, which is an exceptionally powerful wall breaker. Fire and water, dual stab, hits so many things. With its 130 special attack, and it's got pretty good defenses as well. This thing can really tear through teams fairly well. With its 70 speed, though, it can be run Scarf, but it can also rerun Specs. It could also be like a bulky Assault Vest, leftover substitute with Toxic, heavy duty boots with Defog, stuff like that. It can be run bulky, but it's also often run offensive. And last but not least is Stunfisk, which is a ground electric type. He has brought this to games, actually. I don't know exactly what it does, but I know it sets up rocks, and I know it can be a real nuisance. I also know that it can wall Tornadus Therian, which is really, really funny, in my opinion. But it's got a fantastic HP stat at 109, really decent defenses as well with 84 and 99. But it can really be annoying. It paralyzes a lot of shit, particularly with its static ability, and it's definitely something to watch out for if it does make an appearance in the game. Looking at his type matchup, he has a really, really big ground weakness, noting though that it's 4 weaknesses and 3 resistances, because Rotom Frost does get Levitate, but it's still fairly substantial and very notable. He also doesn't have many ghost resistances, which is another thing that I noticed, as well as like only 1 normal resist because it's Mega Aggron. But we try to exploit his weaknesses as best as we can. I think we did a pretty good job, but let's check out our team. First of all, we have Scarf Tongue, our choice Specs Greninja. I decided to change the nickname because I never quite know what to nickname my Greninja. I didn't mean to do that. It is EV to outspeed Whimsicott, max speed Whimsicott, so it's 365. 365, there we go. And the rest in HP. This thing hits incredibly hard. It hits his team so hard. It basically hits everything. Dual Stab and Ice Beam. Extra Sensory is just for the Tentacruel. Like, if you look at his team, Zygarde goes down to Ice Beam, Togekiss goes down to Ice Beam, Tentacruel to Extra Sensory, Dark Pulse as well. Hydro Pump does like 50% to Mega Aggron, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, Hydro Pump. So this thing really puts in a lot of work. We had to run Specs Hydro Pump because that 2-hit KOs special defensive Mega Aggron. I don't really like very specially defensive Mega Aggron. So we kind of were forced into that position. So we have to risk the miss, but in my opinion, it's very worth it. We might swap back to surf, but I don't think we will. If it does happen, then I'm just like really worried about hydro pump missing. So that's really the only reason. Otherwise, I think this thing should hopefully put in a lot of work. Next up, we got Bust and Nut. We're bringing a more defensive set than we usually do, but it's still going to put in a lot of work. Substitute Acid Armor Body Press Double Iron Bash with leftovers, max defense, enough speed to outspeed the Mega Aggron and the rest in special defense. This thing comes in on Mega Aggron 100% of the time, and unless the Mega Aggron is Iron Defense Body Press, this thing beats it 100% of the time. After an Acid Armor, if he doesn't have Iron Defense, he can't touch us. We set up a sub. I think anything he does is like a 2-hit KO. So at least... and we can put in so much work with Body Press. Double Iron Bash, even without attack investment, still does so much work to any team because of its whopping attack stat and its Iron Fist ability, and the fact that it's like a 60, it's like a 120 base power move. So so hopefully Melmetal can put in a lot of work. If it is Iron Defense Body Press Mega Aggron, then Melmetal probably won't put in as much work, but it can still come in on things. And hit them back, but it's definitely my immediate Mega Aggron switch in. Well, after the first turn it comes out, it's my immediate Mega Aggron switch in. Next up we have Emirates, our Mega Latios with Roost, Carmine, Psychic, and Aura Sphere. This thing puts in so much work against his team. Roost, Psychic, and Aura Sphere collectively hit so much of his team, it's ridiculous. The only Pokemon he has to outspeed it is Whimsicott, but after a few Carmines, Whimsicott won't be able to touch us. Scarf Mienshao is a thing, and because of the 200 HP, we can take 2 U-turns. But if he does U-turn, we can just roost up. So we just roost up. Something comes in and it takes a hit. So that strat really doesn't really work for him. But this is what we got. This is our Mega Latios set. Hopefully Psychic and Aura Sphere can really dent his team. Mew can be a bit of a problem, but I think we'll be able to muscle through it because he can't really touch us back unless he's like a physical set, but I can't really tell what it's going to be until we're actually in the game. That's the problem with Mew. You never know. Next up, we're bringing back Fuck Whitney after his fantastic Week 1 performance. Milk Drink, Heal Bell, Ice Punch, Seismic Toss, Max HP, 172 defense, bit of speed, just in case, just so we can win any speed ties with his base 100 mons, and the rest in special defense. This thing comes in on Zygarde 100% of the time, and it does not let him set up. Ice Punch is like a 3-hit KO. Seismic Toss is also a 3-hit KO. So, and with its Thick Fat ability, we can also come in on Volcanion and Rotom Frost. We can really take hits very well from them. We can also take hits from the Togekiss, and we outspeed. I think we outspeed. So with that, we naturally outspeed anyway, but we outspeed so that he can't flinch us back, which I think is very, very, very important. It also kind of comes in on Mega Aggron as well. Seismic Toss does a good chunk to him because that's HP based, and he doesn't have much HP. It will level based, but you know, so it'll do 100 HP worth of damage each time. 100 damage each time. I don't know why I keep saying HP. It's not eruption, but Seismic Toss can hopefully dent his team. Ice Punch should be able to put in some work as well, and hopefully Heal Bell is to recover any status such as burns from Volcanion, or maybe like paralysis from Stunkfisk. Whatever he might have, because we don't really want to take those. We don't really want to take the Toxics. We don't really want to take the burns. But we got to watch out because if he has Toxic and he keeps toxicking us, we lose the 1v1 because Heal Bell is only 8 PP and Toxic is like 16. So we will lose that 1v1 if we decide to play that game. Next up, we got Return of the King, Life Orb, Nidoking with Sheer Force, Stealth Rock, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Ice Beam. This thing destroys his team so much. Like, nothing wants to take Dual Stab Ice Beam. Zygarde loses to Ice Beam, Togekiss loses to Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Sludge Wave, Sludge Wave. Earth Power is a 2-hit KO on a specially defensive Mega Aggron, guaranteed to kill 100% of the time. Sludge Wave or Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Earth Power. He has nothing that wants to come in on this thing, which is fantastic. We just got to get the predictions right. If we think he's going to go on something that'll outspeed us, then we really need to make that prediction. But nothing he has that outspeeds us, except for the Zygarde, and maybe the Mew, really wants to take the hit. Although if he is defensive Mew, I believe we outspeed. We're running 286 speed, so if he's defensive Mew, we outspeed easily. We're running enough speed to outspeed the Togekiss though. We guaranteed outspeed the Togekiss, but I think it's just to outspeed the Mew, maybe to outspeed the Whimsicott. Let me just see. 286. Whimsicott uninvested is 268. I don't remember what we're trying to outspeed, but we're definitely trying to outspeed something. I think it's to outspeed Scarf Togekiss. Yeah, it's to outspeed Scarf Togekiss. Or sorry, max speed Togekiss, so that we can Sludge Wave it, Ice Beam it, do a lot of damage to it. And last but not least, we have Love and Thunder, Roost, T-Bolt, HP, Ice, and Defog. This is our Mienshao switch in, as well as like just general thunderbolting shit. We've got Defog as well for that hazard control, which is going to be really nice in this game, considering he has a number of reliable Stealth Rockers, most notably Stunfisk, Mew, and Mega Aggron. So Stealth Rocks are most likely going to come. We got Static, so we can really punish the Mienshao if it tries to high jump, if it tries to hit us. I don't think Stone Edge is a contact move, but if he like high jump kicks or close combats or U-turns, then we have the chance. We have like we have a 30% chance to paralyze it each time, which is going to be really, really nice. This is really just helping out defensively. It also comes in on Togekiss, comes in on the Tentacruel, and really wears those down. I might swap T-Bolt for Volt Switch so we can keep momentum up. Because aside from a few things, because Zapdos has a really weird matchup, in my opinion. So I might swap Thunderbolt for Volt Switch just for momentum, or I might find, I can't really put U-turn on there, but I might switch Thunderbolt for Volt Switch. If I do, it's just for momentum, not for general damage, because we do have other things that can come in on other things. So yeah, but this is our team for our week 6 battle against EzBake. For PBL, I'm very nervous about this. We really, really need a win. We need a differential booster as well if we can get it, but really I'm just playing for wins at this point. If I can win my games, if I can win all my games from here, I hit 7-3, which is always enough to get me into playoffs when it's in a 10-week season. Or almost, I'd assume it's always enough to get me into playoffs in a 10-week season. Anyway, this is what we're rocking with, and I will see you guys in just a few moments for the battle. Welcome back, everyone, to our PBL Season 7 Week 6 battle. We're about to take on EzBake, so we'll send the challenge. We've got our calcs up ready to go. We got the match up here. So we got his team. We'll see what he brings, what he doesn't bring. And here we go. So he brings the Zygarde, the Aggron, the Stunfisk, the Tentacruel, the Whimsicott, and the Mew. Okay, so he doesn't bring the Mienshao. He doesn't bring the Volcanion, which is great. Oh, by the way, I made a few changes. I changed specs to Scarf on Greninja just to make sure I could outspeed Zygarde at +1, Mew at +1, all those things. I'm pretty sure that was the only change I made. Yeah, it was. That way, guaranteed to outspeed, even if they're scarfed, especially like Scarf Whims could be an option. I'm just going to put the live battle link in the server. Live battles. Fantastic. Okay. So, let's see. So he's got the Zygarde, he's got the Aggron, the Stunfisk, the Tentacruel, the Whimsicott, and the Mew. Possible leads. He could lead with the Aggron to get the Mega up immediately. He could lead with the Tentacruel to get T-Spikes. He could lead with Mew, or he could lead with Whimsicott. I think my best bet might be to lead with Nidoking. If he goes into Mew, I can switch into Melmetal or Zapdos. I can switch into Zapdos more easily because he doesn't have Mienshao. He didn't bring that Mienshao, so I've got that freedom with Zapdos. That Stunfisk could be very troublesome. So I'm pretty worried about that, to be honest. But Nidoking can 2-hit KO it, so I think I'll be okay. I think I might lead with Nidoking. If he leads with Zygarde or Mew, that could be problematic. Otherwise, but I have switch-ins for both, so I'm going to lead with Nidoking. He leads with Aggron. Okay, I'm just going to go straight for an Earth Power. He doesn't have a switch-in, so I'm going to go straight for an Earth Power. So he goes into Mew. Okay, that did about... Okay, so that did 33%. He's leftovers. So Nidoking into Mew. Earth Power did 33%, so he's probably specially defensive. Yeah, that's a specially defensive Mew. Okay, noted. So he's not a sweeper, which is fantastic. He could set up rocks, he could fire off a psychic move. I think I'm gonna go into Greninja. No, because he's specially defensive, so I won't go into Greninja, but I could go into Latios and start setting up. Could do that. I might go in a Miltank, or I can set up my own rocks. How much is Sludge Wave doing, actually? Sludge Wave is doing a bit more. Earth Power did spot on 33%, so he might be a bit more specially defensive than... He might be a bit less specially defensive, actually, than I am. Oh no, he's got to be more. I don't know how he can get more specially defensive, though. I think I might have just gotten... I think that might have just been the absolute low roll. Yeah, that was probably the lowest possible roll I could have gotten there, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So what do I do against this thing? I could go into Latios and start setting up. That might not be a bad play, but how much is Psychic doing to Mew? At +1. It's doing a good chunk, but he can't really touch me back, is the other great thing, unless he's running physical. But if he's physical, I can go in a Melmetal, so it's okay. Let's go into Latios. He just goes for the Soft Boil to heal the damage up. Okay, let's go for a Calm Mind. Let's start setting up. He might go for a Toxic, actually. That could be a possibility. He does go for the Toxic. That's okay, I got Heal Bell on Whitney, so I'm going to keep setting up. And he's setting up that. Okay, that's a problem. I'm going to go in a Miltank. Let's go for a Seismic Toss. He can Toxic me, that's okay. I'm just going to keep Seismic Tossing while he sets up. Oh, this is so bad. This is bad, this is bad. Okay, we'll just Seismic Toss. This is really bad. This is the exact set that I brought another time. This is not good. This is really not good. Let's see if we can get a freeze. No. Let's go for a freeze. That might... Okay, we lived it. He can't really touch Greninja except for Toxic though, so let's go into Greninja. Oh, he called it. Let's try and go for a flinch. Oh, I think we lose to this set, just straight up. I think we lose. Yeah, I lose to this set. There's nothing I can really do. Crit. No, I can't actually do anything. I wonder if I can maybe save myself with Melmetal. Acid Armor. Stored Power. We live the Stored Power, but I don't think we're going to do much back. Yeah, we just lose. We can try and PP stall it out, I think. We can try and see if we can PP stall it out. Because he can't really touch Latios is the other thing. Oh, but he's got Toxic. That's okay. If I can, I might be able to stall it out of PP. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. Let's try and go for a hydro. I'm in big trouble. I'm pretty sure I just lose to this set. I'm not even gonna bother trying to. Maybe we can get a crit paralysis or something, I don't know. Flinch something? I mean, that's something, I guess. No, we lose to this Mew set. We just straight up lose to this Mew set. I can't beat it. I can't beat it. I can't beat it. I can't beat it. I'm just gonna forfeit. Honest, there's no point. There's no point. I'm just gonna forfeit. That's the game. That was absolute shit. But I knew I should have run Toxic. I knew I should have brought Toxic. I was actually thinking to myself before the game, like I was thinking to myself yesterday during mocks, I should put Toxic on something, but I couldn't quite fit it. Now I'm really regretting it. So that's a really major setback for us. That's our second 6-0. I'm not quite sure how we're going to recover from this, but it is what it is, and I'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe for more Pokemon related content, I guess. See ya.